you've been preparing for it, you've done your research on it, and then it's blue skies. It's with any relationship. It's the minute you shut down, that's it, right? It's staying curious and plugged in.
Hey, I'm Brie Stockwell. I'm a nature photographer, owner of Wild Woman Photography, leading co-ed creative photography retreats and workshops for women. And I'm also the host of this podcast, Wild Women in Photography. Today's guest is wild woman Tiffany Reed Briley. She's an award-winning and published professional photographer who grew up in the beautiful province of Alberta, Canada. While living in Canada and playing in the Canadian Rockies, she developed her love for adventure and the wilderness. Her passion and talent led her to receive the distinguished title of Diamond Photographer of the Year from the PPA, Professional Photographers Association, in 2011 and 13, a rare honor and difficult achievement. She also received her Master's of Photography from the PPA. Tiffany has worked as the Director of Advertising and has been a contributing writer for Landscape Photography magazine. Close to Tiffany's heart is her faith, her family, and her 4 dogs. To find out more about Tiffany and her work, visit Tiffany, Tiffany, Briley, Briley.com. Now on to the episode with wild woman Tiffany Reed Briley. Let's go. What tea are you drinking, Tiffany?
I'm drinking, it's a London Fog by Harney and Sons.
Oh.
If you haven't had Harney and Sons tea, highly recommend it. Comes in cute little tin jars.
Yes.
But this tea is just a little bit of heaven. So soothing. With a little tiny bit of honey. So it's like an Earl Grey with I think some lavender in it. And
oh.
It's like the London Fog you'd get at Starbucks without the, look at me, I'm just using my fingers. This is, it's the London Fog I would use that you get at Starbucks, but without the milk. So it's just black tea. It's just very soothing with a little honey.
Nice. Yeah. My neighbor down the street, you guys, this is not about photography yet, but my neighbor down the street, she did like basically a master's program and she's a master herbalist. Is what she is.
Wow.
And so she and I have recently like struck up a friendship and I was like, tell me more. And I was like, I want to make some of my own herbal tea blends. And so she brought her big old book up and we decided what the blends might be. And then I ordered loose leaf, like loose everything. And then she came up and helped me try out flavor profiles. And then we actually made the blend of how much to put in what. And yeah, and I have these little tins that I'm giving away for Christmas and it's to like friends and my sisters and stuff. It's so fun.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, let me know if you want my address.
In Canva, you can do there's like a little AI design your logo. And I was like,
yeah,
I want a logo for this. And I kind of gave an overview.
Yeah.
And it came up with this little circle that had a little drip, like a little drop, and it called it Bree's Teas. And I was like, fine, done. Cheesy, but fine.
So cute. Yeah,
I made little labels. So I have 2 kinds of tea. One is like a digestion blend called Zen Belly. And another one is a calming, relaxing one called, I know, it's cheesy. It's so cheesy. Serenity.
No. Oh, so, okay, wait. And these are Christmas gifts?
Yes.
Oh, fun. That's so fun.
Yeah. And a little, those little, what are they called? The little, like, it's the little metal, like, basket that you put in in a mug, and then you can add your loose leaf tea and you pour the hot water over it. So, like, there's no fussiness. You just use your own mug. So, anyway.
Love.
That's the kind of stuff I do when I'm not doing photography. I'm like, what crazy thing can I get up to?
I think it's like so common for artists though, to be, have multifaceted interests.
Yes.
And when you learn that you know, there's a season for focus on one thing, And then you kind
Mhm.
of come out of that and there's this time to focus on something else. And I think there's a lot of freedom when you realize you don't have to be stuck in a box as an artist,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, mhm. Like, I'm a musician. I
Yeah,
just
right.
played my
Exactly.
flute, like, 2 weekends ago, and,
Yeah.
I'm really honed in on photography right now personally,
Yeah.
but I will every so often, like, dip my toes back in somewhere because
Mhm.
I think it feels really good to not feel so hyper focused. Like,
Yeah.
I like exploring the edges of, of being an artist and what that
Yeah.
means.
That
So,
creative flow. And I think it's like paying attention to that and honoring that as it ebbs and flows in your life
mhm.
because I really believe it protects you from burnout.
Yes, I think so too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's really important.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree. The other side of that, like, I'm totally exploring this idea, this burnout and
mm,
creative blocks.
mm,
Um, I haven't pieced it together yet, but I really believe there is no such thing as a creative block.
mm.
But anyway, more to come on that
Yeah.
probably. But the other side of it is when you have so many things ideas and things you want to do,
Right.
and your mind thinks you have to do them.
Yeah.
So you divide your time and energy and in like, you're like fractured.
Yeah.
And that's also, I mean, that does kind of lead to burnout, but that's also a problem too, because then we don't ever get good at one thing,
That's right.
or we're so focused on all of these little things, other parts of our lives suffer,
Right.
like relationships, our bodies, all kinds of other things, right?
100%. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. So I have a really interesting story because, professionally,
Mhm.
I started doing all of this workshopping alone in 2020 because my
2020 is
husband,
like a
I
banner
know,
year.
2020 was like, whew. But my husband and I started this business in 2013 of going, or maybe it was 2014, of doing photography full time. And we did it together. And so we did that for, a lot of years. And then but he just burned out. And it was a slow burnout. But then 2020, was a lot of changes for him. And he doesn't mind me speaking publicly about it. I did a blog post on it. So I'm honoring him in that. But, he was in early 50s. He had a big life change where his kids had, moved out. And so his whole identity had always been being a dad. And so when that is gone, he's like, who am I now? And these businesses we had built, everything was just shut down with COVID. And so that just spiraled into just like this nervous breakdown. But out of it, as he came to kind of come out of it and just with, professional help and just, really stewarding well, he said, I'm done with photography, like cold turkey. And he has not since 2019 picked up a camera. And what it's crazy is that he's actually extremely gifted and really talented. But no, he was just done. So I just picked it up and kept running, and here we are. Oh gosh, yeah. It's just like you're saying. It's in my soul. I have no desire to stop. I love it. There's so many facets of it that I love. Yeah. So here we are.
I think sometimes it's helpful to go down the road of exploring, like your husband did. Like, we're all in on this business,
Mhm.
to then discover that it's
Yeah.
not the thing you want to do. And like, I heard this story once. It was in a Christian context, but the story was, so, a father and son were on a trip, probably somewhere in southern Utah. Like, I imagine them like driving in canyon lands, like off-roading. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah. So,
Yeah. Right.
but as we do when you're going off and exploring and you try to travel back the way you came, they're coming back in their car and there's a fork. And they're like, which way did we come? Do we go right or left? I don't know. So they picked,
Right.
I'm just going to guess, right. And they go down, driving
Yeah.
down. Maybe this is the right way. And they come to a dead end finally. I don't know how long.
and they turn around
Right.
and they have to come back. And then the other, so then they know then they go, of course, the left way, because they're like, of course, that's the right way. And the son was like, Dad, why did we pick the wrong one? And he's like, because sometimes going down the wrong one helps us know for sure that it's the wrong way. And that when we're finally on the right way, that's definitely the right way. Like, we can have a lot of trust in that, It's I love that story. I think about it all the time.
Yeah. And in coming out of it too, we found that it was a major life change going from traveling together all the time, doing this thing, to now being separate, half of the year. Half of the year we're not even together. And so it's like this ebbing and flowing. It's like a coming back in and then going back out. And it's been really healthy for us because we were just together so much, working and living together and shooting together. And I think for me, it felt timely, and it felt like it was partially just a gift for me to just kind of step and be a little bit bolder and braver, and that the onus was on me to invest in my own photography and not just be like, oh, well, Keith's so good, I'll just sit behind. And it wasn't, I could be fully me on the workshops, not fearing overshadowing anybody, and just, and also just creatively, like, really invest in myself. So it worked out.
That's so amazing. I love being able to, okay. First, I want to acknowledge that when this was all going down, not fun, probably.
Yeah. Oh, okay. No, this was really bad. No, because the thing about it, for anybody who is self-employed or had worked really hard on growing these things, you'd invested everything, and through no fault of your own, the rug is pulled out underneath you. And that can mean a lot of things for a lot of people in their own interpretation of what happened. But no, it was crazy. And am I allowed to share something about God on this? Is that okay?
Nothing's off limits.
Okay. So this is just really bizarre. People might think I'm cuckoo, but I was at a church actually in Texas at the end of 2019. And I kid you not, I heard this little whisper that I think is 100% from the Lord that said, next year in 2020, I'm going to carry you in rest.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like, I'm hearing it. I'm like, oh, crap, am I going to get sick? I don't have time to rest. This sounds bad. And it wasn't until we were about 2 or 3 months into it when I realized it wasn't going to be like, COVID was not going to be a quick thing, that I realized this was some forced rest. And so I just went with it. I wrote a novel.
Did you?
I helped my husband navigate. Yeah. I just went with it. There was no choice but just flow with it.
That's so good. I mean, I want to address the God thing, because like I'm a churchgoer, but
same. Yeah.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think a lot of people believe in some sort of a divine presence, or, and also, if you don't, you still have like there's intuition. And like I love talking about like the intuitive messages that we get. And I like talking about creative intuition, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So often, I don't care where it comes from for you.
Yeah.
It's,
yeah.
Did you listen? Did you hear your intuition talk to you? And did you follow it? Because that feels for me really, I feel like I'm in total alignment when I do that.
100%.
So many great things happen when I do that. It's awesome.
Yeah, but the problem is it's so busy. Lives are so busy. Even in the midst of COVID, there was a lot of really loud voices during COVID. But even outside of COVID, we have so many distractions.
She just looked at her phone, y'all.
Right? Yeah, we just looked at our phones. We have so many distractions that it's really, you have to be intentional I think really to be quiet, to really take inventory and hear, like, where's that creative flow going to take me right
Mhm.
now? Or what is it actually truly in my heart that's maybe outside of habit that needs to get birthed?
Yes.
Right? And I think it can mean so many things, but really taking inventory and paying attention to that and not just getting sideswept into this is the next trending location I need to go photograph. Do you know what I mean? Like what are you supposed to do?
Right.
Like what's your heart calling you to do,
Right.
right?
I had that experience actually in 2020.
Yeah.
And before we got on to record, y'all, I was telling Tiffany was like, Brie, I don't know anything about you. Tell me about your photography journey. And I'm like, okay. And so
Yeah.
anyway, you got the whole
Yeah.
story. Um,
Yeah.
but I was really practicing listening to my intuition because I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I don't like,
Right.
what do I do next? And so
Yeah.
I had to, why did I need to do it? I had to drive my son to Utah. I drove with my son to Utah for some event because it was 2020 and the flights and you know what I mean? Like, anyway, it was just different. So I drove to Utah and on my way back, before we had left to come home, I just felt like I needed to stop in White Sands National Park. And Las Cruces, it's close to Las Cruces, but Las Cruces is basically on my way home from there.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I guess I'll do that. And so we drove home. We on our way home, I had one night. So I got him in the hotel. He's older. He's fine.
Yeah.
So I got him in the hotel and I booked it over to the park. It's summertime. I think it was like, it was July. And so it's open, it's like open later. But anyway, I booked it over there. I think I maybe had like 2 hours to walk around and stuff like that. Saw the most beautiful sunset. I mean, it was amazing. And as I drove in, I like felt, oh, I wasn't chasing my point is I wasn't chasing anything. It was like,
Yeah,
oh,
that's right.
you need to be here more. Like
Yeah.
I was like,
Right.
I have this strong pull to be there more. I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
How do I get back here?
Yeah.
So I came home and I'm like, honey, I need to go to White Sands National Park. He's like, what? Wait, what? I'm like, yeah,
What are
I'm
you
going to
gonna
book an Airbnb and I'm going to be gone for like 5 or 6 days. And here's the thing, raising my kids for many years, my
do? Yeah.
vacations were with my husband, like so often, or with
Yeah.
the family, like getting away was with them. And maybe I have a few hours or like a day or two away, but not anything.
For yourself.
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to go by myself. And he's like, all right, then you go. And I'm like, okay. So I went. It was like, I think 5 days. It was at the end of August, which is the hottest time of the year. Ridiculous. But it
So
didn't
hot.
matter. It was so fun. I knew I was like hooked. So I'm saying that because I think it is kind of a destination, that place, but also I was using my intuition to guide me there. And if I had to choose between a week in White Sands, I've been there I don't know how many times right now. I just released a whole collection on my
Yeah.
website with a bunch of work. But if I had to choose between going to Alaska and going to White Sands, nobody die, I probably will go to White Sands.
Yeah. Yeah. It makes your heart pitter patter.
Yes, totally.
No, I hear you. I hear you. I think as the evolution of me as a photographer has kind of really, I've been doing this for since
Yeah,
2009.
you've been a long
Really
time.
seriously,
In the scheme
a
of
long
things, it
time.
is a long time. I'm
Yeah,
impressed.
it feels like it's a long time. It's a long time. And that whole start about how I even started it was really from like a lot of
Mm,
brokenness, just really trying to find, after helping a man that I was engaged to, helping him with his
mm,
career. When I left that relationship, it was like, wait, who am I? And I'm in my late 20s. So, I mean, I should have been figuring it
right.
out in that time. And photography just found me. But I think, in this as I look back now and like the progression of what you search for when you're in the field, I think at first it's really good when you're beginning. You're looking to emulate those who you respect or
Yes.
those who you admire as photographers. And I think that I hate to use the word copying, that emulating is so important. It's how you learn.
If you read the book, it's called Steal Like an Artist.
Yeah, I do know that. I've not read it, but I do know it. But you're right.
It's a quick read. There's a difference between copying exactly and like mimicking, right? Like using other, I'm going to say photographers here as inspiration. I did that a lot at the beginning, and we have to,
Everybody
right?
does.
It's how we learn.
Everybody does. And I think out of it, by that discipline of taking note and of learning from different people, your own style does evolve
Mhm.
out of it organically. It's not something you have to try. It will just happen if you follow it. So I think initially, there's mimicking in the beginning, and then it was a flash forward to 2020. I'm now guiding and teaching workshops by myself. Like, holy crap, this is scary for all that comes with that.
Right.
Um, and in that though, it became, there's the benchmarks places that people like on trips, they, you want to see. You want to see, like you want to go see these trademark spots that everyone photographs. But then it became, how do you really catch the heartbeat of the location? And that's something I really started to kind of press into. And that meant getting out of my comfort zone. It meant trying new
Mhm.
things. It meant really listening to the intuition actively to say, when I feel a nudge that says, go that way, go to the left, I'm going to the
100%,
left.
1000%.
And and I think it's such a valuable asset to us in the field, to paying attention to that little voice, because it has taken me to waterfalls that I didn't even know. I don't even think have names. Just these beautiful little hidden places. And it's helped me, in foreign countries meet people that I wouldn't have met otherwise, but gave me more context to tell the story of the landscape because I'm catching the heartbeat of the locals there. And I think that there's nothing stronger than that.
I love that.
Yeah.
So back to finding places that make your heart go pitter patter. What makes your heart go pitter patter?
Oh my gosh. Okay. People will say, what's your favorite place to photograph, or what's your favorite place to do a workshop? It's like choosing your favorite child. You always have one and it changes.
Right. But your favorite place to do a workshop might not be your favorite place to
Mm.
photograph or something.
No, it's often the
Mm,
same. It's often the same because I get really excited to share with people where my heart is beating
mm,
faster. So oftentimes it is, and then they catch that,
right.
right? So it is often the same, but it does change. And I think to some degree it's where I am in the moment, because if I am loving where I am in that moment the most, then I've hit it. I've hit that heartbeat, and I'm capturing it. I'm honoring the land the best. I'm honoring myself the best, my photography, and then the people who are with me, because I've really caught into what that place is. And that's like the goal, right? But I think overall top ones, I love Colorado. Colorado, I feel like the San Juan Mountains is the gift that keeps on giving.
Mm.
It just every year that I go, it's just different, and it's beautiful, and there's so much to discover if you just go a little ways off the beaten path. The Badlands is a study of Badlands National Park is fascinating, because if you stay on the road, it looks all like it's the same thing. But if you just go just a short ways off, you don't have to do any aggressive hiking. There are characteristics to Badlands National Park that make each section of the park so different and unique. And I think it's finding those nuances. And when you learn to recognize the nuances and become intimate with the location, gosh, it just sets you up for so much fun, because then your voice mixes with those nuances, and that's when you're creating fresh
Mhm.
things. So that makes me, and then of course, like, we've been doing Italy and in Tuscany specifically, and I did some personal scouting in Umbria. And I love Italy so much for the simple reason that the Industrial Revolution completely missed Italy.
It's
It's like
true.
it's
So true.
they just missed it. And the people I just have a really beautiful team over there of just people who are doing the things that they do out of love and not for how much money they can make. And I think that I love that the most is there's such an honor and a prize on doing what you do well and being the best at it for you without needing it to make six figures or more, or to put your name on social media or to have a lot of followers. They just do it because it's an art form that their family taught them or they just love. Maybe baking bread. And it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's just a value system I love. So,
Yeah, Italy is a special place. I mean, I think there's a lot of special places around. That's the thing.
there
And
is.
you guys, when Tiffany's talking, her eyes are like sparkling. I'm just telling you. Because,
Yeah,
because
I can feel
right?
it. I can feel it.
Because when we talk about
Yeah.
places that we love and that have personal meaning, that we've enjoyed really personal, special experiences there, our love for them gets even deeper. Like the way
Yeah.
we experience these places is more
Mhm.
expansive, and especially as we go back over and over and over again. And it was so funny because I had not been to Badlands.
Yeah.
Why? I don't
You need
know. I have no
you need to
idea.
go.
Right?
You
I
need to go.
know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince my husband to move to Southern Utah. Isn't that a great idea?
That is a good idea. That is a good
And I've never
idea.
photographed Colorado either. So
Oh,
I know.
such a good. Yeah. I know, and that's really the thing. There is so much here. There's so much here
There
to
is.
photograph
It's amazing.
and to explore, and we're so gifted to live in such a great country for
Yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
also think
Yeah.
too, like I know you do. Where do you live right now?
Yeah. So I'm actually based in Charleston,
Right.
South
I
Carolina.
was just going to say, like, there's so much to explore near us, always. I personally believe if we
Yeah.
look for it, we can appreciate what's around us. And like, I think you live in a beautiful place. And so,
Oh my goodness. I mean, if you love ethereal photography, Charleston is your place. And in March when the azaleas are coming out, I mean, it's just, you can make some really dreamy photographs here. I mean, there's so much history,
yes.
good and bad. But it really is just charming. Like, it's just so beautiful here. And there's these old abandoned roads that you can just kind of randomly stumble on. And a lot of them have overgrowth. And you mix a couple of those with some live oaks, and it's just, the live oaks have so much character.
And they're huge.
They have a lot to say. They're massive. I mean, they're huge.
It's different than the oaks that we
Yeah.
have here. Ours are small because they
Yeah,
don't
very different.
plot.
No, these ladies have a lot to say.
Wow.
Yeah, they're so fun. So fun.
Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so I know you do, since we're talking about it anyway.
Yeah.
I know you do. I know you do a workshop there. Tell us more about it, would you?
Yeah. I again, just kind of sharing with people where you live. There's something really like, traveling the world over and sharing different places with people from what you found. But I think being able to communicate the heartbeat of, where you live is a gift. And I think there's also a special obligation to that, right? Because you want to do that well. And Charleston just is so lovely because of all these little treasures. Our beaches are receding. We
Really?
lost a couple years ago. We lost 100 feet of beach in 1 year
Wow.
on one location. Yeah. So what's happening is the ocean is encroaching on our maritime forest, which includes a lot of live oaks and palms. The palms go first as the ocean's coming up the beach, and then the live oaks stand. And then what happens is you're left with what they call the boneyard beach. And so it's these beautiful live oaks. And the root system on the live oaks, it's not necessarily, that deep as you might think, but they stand in the surf. And so you have these trees standing in the ocean, and it's so magical. Like it's one of the most special places. I think when I first saw it, I was just like, what is even happening right now? Like, this is so weird. But it's ever changing. And so as a photographer who lives here, going out to some of the boneyard beaches, you can't say, oh, here's the composition, because I could have been out last week and then I go out this week and it's completely changed because a high tide can lift all of the trees up and just, scatter them around and your comp's gone. So when you're making photographs that are like potentially once in a lifetime because everything just hit just right. So it's fun and special and challenging, which is great.
Amazing.
Oh, it's so lovely.
I
It's
love
so,
that. Oh no, I want to know. I want
yeah.
to go.
Yeah, you come. Just come on out. Sorry, husband. I'm gonna borrow Brie for a couple days.
I think he'll be okay. What we'll probably do is he'd travel with me and then
There you go. We get a lot of spouses. So we're a spouse-friendly workshop company so people can bring, because I kind of feel like
go on vacation.
hopefully you want your spouse to kind of see the things that you're seeing. So we just let them when we can. There's some trips it makes it hard logistically, but when we can, spouses
That's
are welcome to
awesome.
come. I just think it's just
A lot of people, like I love traveling with my husband, but I also love going solo. It's like
Mhm. Mhm.
it's like my own magical personal time. And
Yep.
the older my kids get, now that my kids have all kind of dispersed, and my husband and I spend a lot of time together, I'm like, I don't feel bad about saying I'm going to leave for a week or whatever. Like
Yeah.
I think it's important to have the separation time, because actually when we
Totally.
come back together, I'm like, oh, what did you do? Like we have new stuff to talk about, which is actually really great. But it is fun to travel and do these things. Like I could see myself doing that kind of a workshop on an extended trip, like as part of a different, like a
Yeah.
multifaceted trip,
Yeah. Yeah. Because there's so much over here
Right.
for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to push yourself. I mean, like to push yourself in photography, to continue to challenge yourself. I love
Yeah.
going to White Sands, but I also will go, oh, where do I want to go that's challenging, or
Yeah.
I'll leave space in my calendar for the random invite. Hey, do you want to go here?
Yeah.
So I said, I haven't photographed Colorado, but I am going in February. I am a hot weather girl. I like hot weather. And so this mountains are different for me. Cold weather is different for me. I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll go photograph something different so I can stretch myself. And I think that's what's great about photography is there's always opportunity to like stretch and challenge ourselves.
100%. Yeah. So I got to tell you this quick story. So last January, I was guiding up in Alberta in the Canadian Rockies because I grew up in
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Alberta. So I was born in Ohio, but I grew up in a tiny hamlet of
A
300 people,
hamlet?
4
That's
hours,
cute.
a hamlet, not even big enough to be a village. And when we moved there was like 300 or 400 people in between two Indian reservations, way up 4.5 hours north of Edmonton. So way up there where the road stops. So I was guiding, went back home to guide up there into the Canadian Rockies. And it was the coldest, the ice bubbles. You've seen the
Yes.
ice bubbles
Yes. Yeah.
on Abraham Lake. And so it was the coldest day on record that they had for that lake. And I am out there scouting, trying to find these darn ice bubbles because, the wind is moving. The wind is moving. And when the wind is moving, it's shifting the snow. And if you have a lot of snow with not a lot of wind, you're not going to have any ice bubbles. Like they're there, but you can't see them. And I was walking out into here trying like hell bent and determined to find these darn ice bubbles. And they were not going to be found. And so I'm out there and I'm pretty far out because, you can wander farther than
Right.
you've wandered.
Yes.
And all of a sudden my thighs just start to feel a little tight, and not like muscle tight, but like my skin is starting to feel tight. And
Oh,
we are talking, it was like -50, -60 with the wind. And okay, and at that point I was like, oh, this is actually not safe. This is not safe. Like I have pushed too
uh-huh.
far. And so then I had to kind of get back up a very large hill to back up to the parking area where the car was. It was a good distance away. And it was kind of just like one of these, like taking your thoughts captive, being mindful, not, just get back to the car and
Don't
everything will
freak
be
out because
okay.
it makes it
But
worse.
don't freak out. It's fine. You just have to do the thing one step in front of another. Like life coaching myself until you get up there. But it's rarely that I will put myself in a really stupid situation, but I can say that's probably one of the most stupid things I've ever done is try to scout when you shouldn't be
Oh
scouting.
my gosh.
Should be by
Did you
fire.
have any were there any physical problems afterwards? Did your pinky
There was
toes get frostbite or something?
no, there was some slow, I knew enough to just slowly reheat. And so no, there was luckily no long lasting. It was really stupid. It was just so stupid. And I knew better. I've grown up in that, but we do what we do because, you get
I
the blinders
know.
on.
We do. We
Right.
do get our
Yeah.
yes. Like I will
Yeah.
find it's all in pursuit of what we love.
It is. And I'll say that as being a woman and traveling, because I travel, obviously by myself now and mentioned half the year. And a lot of that is camping
Mhm.
now. This has been like the next, you're talking about
Yes.
challenge yourself is camping. And I think being aware of the dangers around me, but not being controlled by
Mhm.
them has been something that I've really had to learn the balance of that. Right.
Yes. I agree. And as a woman who's traveled by myself and camped, I have to
Right. Yeah.
remind myself like there are dangers literally everywhere. Like it doesn't matter,
Every,
they're everywhere. But the likelihood
yeah.
that something that my worst fears are going to come true is slim to none,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And maybe it's not healthy to watch 48 hours anymore. If you're going to do a lot of traveling alone, maybe just don't do that.
Yes. Or any account, a social media account that talks about bad things happening to people in national parks.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just stay away from true crime. It's fine.
That is my true crime podcasts are my
Is that your thing?
that's my guilty pleasure. So I don't even feel guilty about it. But yes, but sometimes I do have to go, oh, that one's a little like starting to get creepy. I have to put that away because I don't want it to come back to me later. Like, so I
Right.
will
Yeah.
pick and choose for sure. Yeah.
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 So speaking of traveling, two things. Let's let's just talk about these two things that you were talking about. Didn't you live out of your Jeep?
Okay. So this is a story. First off, I had a guy, and I love this guy. So if it ever got back to him, I love him, but he's a sweet, sweet friend. But he said to me, Tiffany, why are you camping? Like, you're making enough money off workshops. You really don't need to camp. Like, why are you doing this? And I thought, I'm not one of these, like, the gender wars is just really not my thing. Like, I just really don't care. I just don't care. You do you, I'll do me. But I was like, you would never ask that of a guy. You would never ask that of a guy. Like, why are you
Mm.
camping? I don't think so. Mark Adamus was I think all of us, but back in '09, I remember when I was just starting getting the outdoor photographer and it's showing up at my house and it's like month after month after month, I'd look to see who the cover credit was and it was Mark, right? And so he was like the thing, the
Yes.
guy, right? Like
Yeah.
he was doing things that I'd never seen in compositions I'd never seen and just in a really evocative way. And I thought I want to.
He's still making that stuff.
Oh, he's still off the. He is still in rarefied
Mhm.
air, and I wanted to make, but that seed planted that I wanted to make evocative images that had that type of emotion to them, and I remember finding out that he was camping while leading a workshop in the winter, no less. And I thought there was a seed planted in that moment. I thought if I could ever camp while guiding a workshop, I might hit the point where I, quote unquote, arrived for myself, that I can hang with the boys. And that thought got into my head and it burrowed deep inside to the point that when Keith quit, and I was by myself and I had that, I've got a Jeep Wrangler, with a 4-door Jeep Wrangler. I thought I could actually do this. And so I packed my Jeep Wrangler up. I got all equipped and I did it. And I've been doing it for the last 4 years. And I can tell you that being, talking about getting away from the distractions of social media and all of these things, but not having a hotel specifically, not having TV in a hotel, not having that opportunity, but staying out in nature for extended period of time, like 2 months, and learning the movements of everything takes longer. And so you give greater grace to the time that it takes to make the coffee, or the time that it takes to do this or that, or the intention about going and, finding yourself the shower. There's beauty in that. And I think that there's a reset for me. So it's been 24 was a particularly, I think, also a hard year for a lot of people. It was for me in a lot of different ways. And I just kind of felt like my heart was just getting real crusty over the summer. Just like I wasn't fully me, just through all of these hard things. And I just went away and did my thing for 2 months, camping and guiding throughout all Western United States. And it was like the stuff kind of fell off. Like the crusty chunks were falling off, so that when I came home here in November, I was back to just being me, because I just stayed connected with nature. And there's something about that I know I don't know all of. I don't know if we all know all of it. And it's something I still need to kind of give thought and words to, but I don't know what it is, except that I know that I stay truly connected, both to my work and to my creativity, and to myself when I'm actually staying in those elements. It's not for everybody, and grace to those who are hotel girls. It's all good. But just for me, I think it's knowing that I'm capable enough to do it.
It's so
huge.
funny.
Yeah.
I feel like we're so similar in so many ways.
Are we kindred spirits?
Why have we never met?
Too.
Oh my gosh.
I don't even understand. Yeah, we are. I thought that I was going to say, Brie, I want you, before we recorded, I was like, Brie, I want you to be my friend.
Can we be friends?
Let's
You
be
guys,
friends.
Tiffany and I are friends now. It's official.
December 16th will forever be our friendiversary.
Okay. Oh, that's great. I'll remember it always, because today it's my, so FYI, I have more stuff to say, but it's my anniversary today.
Oh,
Yes, thank
okay.
you.
Happy
Thank you. And
anniversary.
today is a special one because it's 30 years. So
Oh, wow. This
it
is
is
a big one.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
The Monday,
That's
like in the Christmas season, we're like, we're going to celebrate later. But
yeah, I get that. But congratulations. That's
it
a
is
huge
a huge
feat.
feat. I'm feeling really, amazed by it, that
Yeah,
we
way to go.
grew together like that. But anyway, so today's my anniversary with my husband, and it's next year will be our 1 year friendiversary, Tiffany.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Yay.
Don't be
So
surprised
fun.
when you get a text from me.
You'll never forget.
Hey.
So fun.
I was gonna say, in that vein of like camping and stuff, I've not lived out of my car for 2 months like that, but I could see myself easily doing that, like pushing the boundary of what that would be about. And I think there's something really special about spending time photographing nature. Oh, here's what I actually wanted to say was, I have a hard time spending time out in nature photographing and then going into a hotel. It feels sterile. Like there's something like I don't want to go inside with all the LED lights and the like all the things, and it feels weird to me. Like I so often like want to be camping. I know it's that this is so, the thing is this is so strange coming from my mouth. So
It's so fun.
that this is where I'm at now. Now I don't know if I want to do it for like so many days straight, but I think there's a time for it. Like I could see myself doing it for a couple of weeks or more, you know?
Yeah. And I think there's this element, like I have to do it cute. Otherwise, I can't be the girl that just lives in her
Yes.
car because even just saying that makes me cringe a little bit because I'm not that
No,
girl.
same.
No, now you be that girl. Like you do you. But to me, it's like I actually have, it's cute. So I have like a little throw pillow, and I've got like really lovely little throw blankets in the back of my Jeep, and everything's extremely organized. And I have my little wine bar, that I tuck away and have for, later. And yeah, you got to do it cute if you're going to do it. Like
I bring my curling iron because I have my portable battery, and I always have my nails done.
a Jackery
Yeah,
will support a curling iron. I can attest to
totally.
this. Yes, exactly.
You guys, these are important conversations to
Priorities.
have for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, last, will you tell us about, you mentioned in our, I do a little form. If you listen to this, in summer of 2021, kind of after COVID, you went out west to go do some scouting. You know what this is about. Do you remember what you said?
I don't remember what I said.
You said, hang on, I'll just tell you. Blue sky followed me consistently everywhere.
Oh my gosh.
And I think it's so interesting because as photographers, like we want different atmosphere, different weather. Like we want the weather to change up for us, and so blue skies can get old, tell us more.
Yeah. This actually happened. So this last fall, even I feel like, I left, I went straight to the Badlands and then the Tetons and then Colorado and then, kept going. But I swear we had blue skies almost every single workshop. And it was just so bizarre for that to continuously happen. But we really pivoted and actually, and people had said, actually I loved this one the most because I learned so much about how to kind of pivot. I think it's learning to work with what you have. And I think too, really knowing your tools and what you can do both in post and what you can do, when you don't have it. And I'm not a big Milky Way person. Like I will just tell you that right up front. Like if you want to go learn Milky Way, you probably don't want to go with me. There's other people that are doing that, way better. It doesn't make, I like sleep.
Same.
I really like sleep.
This is why we're kindred spirits, Tiffany.
Yeah, exactly. Like if it's in the late autumn or now, where you can get the Milky Way at, 8 or 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, I'm there for that. I'll do it. But I'm just not going to go sit out all night. So just, I don't know. So, when you're not planning on doing Milky Way, you've got these blue skies. It means you've got, if you want like that beautiful purple light, you've got maybe 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes at night. And that's really it for good photography. And it really just became about, how well can I do? Can I turn my black and white brain on? That's what we did a lot in the Badlands, is like, how can we look for really dynamic, black and white. So textures, lines, and shapes, and stretching ourselves. I think everybody got stretched by doing that. But gosh, yeah, it's staying positive. I think the biggest takeaway I have and what I've learned is that your attitude is everything because it's going to impact what you create. So, can roll over and just play dead and be done, or you can just really challenge yourself and say, this is an opportunity where I can really do something that I've never done before and see how it works out. And I do think that when you have the margin and the time that you can actually have your laptop with you to kind of review, especially in these challenging situations, what did you take that night so that you can then you don't need to do anything crazy, but pick one image out from that day and just look at it and try to edit just to see, how is that going to translate? What tools am I going to need to learn? Or do I need to go take an online course from somebody who masters in black and white? Like what does that mean? Or how am I going to do it differently? I think that there's actually a benefit to doing that even in a brand new location. If you're not on a workshop and you're just traveling on your own to a new spot, I'll think I've got it in camera. Like I'll think I've nailed it. And then I go back and I look and I'm like, wow, that sucks. Like, what was I thinking? That's not good. That's not good. So I will try to, before I leave a place, no matter if I've got blue skies or moody skies, I'll try to review if it's brand new to me. So I make sure I'm clearly telling the story in the best way. Because it's so hard to tell on the back of a screen.
I know it is. Yeah, that's so smart. You guys, That's
Yeah.
that is awesome advice. And I love this
Just a
idea
good
that
practice.
attitude is everything because it is. Because
Oh,
once you close yourself off,
that's
you're
it. That is
done.
it.
Like,
You're done.
yeah, when you could actually open your mind up to new possibilities or even like just different possibilities, and you could create something that opens a new door for you photographically, you know?
That's right.
It could be really the best thing for you ever is to experience all blue skies for a whole week.
It's just staying
Mhm.
curious, and it's not letting those challenges of, this goes against what I was hoping for, right? Like, you have this big, massive trip planned, you've been preparing for it, you've done your research on it, and then it's blue skies. If you just shut down on it, it's with any relationship. It's the minute you shut down, that's it, right? It's staying curious and plugged in, even in the spite of that. I think it always yields a great reward.
I agree. Curiosity is
Yeah.
so key in so many things that we do, not just photography, but like in
No.
life
Mm-mm.
in general, right?
100%. Yeah. And getting outside of yourself and listening to those things around you. 100. I think we all need a little more of that. All of us. I'm saying that because I'm like, oh my gosh, I need more people like Brie in my life.
So good, right? You know, when you
Yeah.
were talking about
Yeah.
blue skies, I'm like, I know what to do with blue skies, and I love it because I
Tell
have a
me.
full spectrum conversion cam. It's converted, and so
Yeah.
I just put on whatever filter I feel like
Yeah.
using, and I I have some of my best photos. I like shared with someone an image.
Mhm.
I looked at the timestamp, 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, this photo's awesome. Right. And so that's where I think it's important to have those experiences so you know, with the blue skies,
Right.
practicing with it, playing with it, experimenting with it, so you can take that with you to the next place that you go.
That's it.
And you go, oh,
Yeah.
it just is like another tool or method for you to explore more in the future. And I think all of
Yeah.
these experiences open yourself up. Like it's more expansive. And I like having a more
Yeah.
expansive view of photography now. It's so much bigger than when I started out in whatever 2019.
But you can just get into these little ruts,
Mhm.
right? You can just kind of get into these ruts of
Yeah.
doing the same thing over and over. And it's all about what do you have in your tool belt and being diligent to add just one thing a month. Just add one thing a month at the end of the, whether that's like a post-processing technique or it's a new technique in the field or a new location or a new way of seeing, just one thing a month. If you can make that your goal for next year, I mean, you're winning. You've got 12 new tools. You'll
Mm.
definitely be a new photographer after that.
What's my thing this month?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's this month, but I've learned a lot about composition. I think we're all still learning things about composition, like it's a never ending sort of a
It's a
quest.
gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I'm learning more about color,
Yeah.
and
Beautiful.
I really like that exploration. So that's my next fun photography
Yay.
rabbit hole. I think it'll inform how I edit even more the site, the nuances in color.
100%. That's such a good topic to dive into. A deep hole.
Yeah. Who can teach me
Yeah.
about color?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
bought,
Exactly. Okay. I just bought that.
did you really? We
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
We are kindred
Yeah. I
spirits.
just bought it. It's downstairs. Well, because I started this whole thing the same time I started photography, I started oil painting.
Oh,
Yeah. So, and actually over here, you can't see it, but I have one of my paintings from Costa
oh my
Rica.
gosh.
How funny is that? Yeah. My parents lived in Costa Rica for a while. So I was visiting them and I painted a landscape of Costa Rica. And then above it right now, I've got two of my great grandfather's paintings. And because he was an
That's so
artist. And
fun.
so that whole painterly
Mm-hmm.
approach to photography is, I think, really, it's my stride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think the heartbeat of my work is working in pieces, slow and
Yes.
methodical
Yes.
layers, lots of layers over a lot of things. But really also just a study of
Mm-hmm.
light is just mm, so good. It's the same with color, right? Like you're never going to get to the bottom of
No,
that.
light, composition, color, all the things. So the book it's by Mitchell Albala. It's called Landscape Painting, Essential Concepts and Techniques for Plein Air and Studio Practice. And I bought it because David Thompson posted a tiny picture of it on his stories.
Do you mean the king of Cyprus?
Yeah.
The king
he
of
posted
Cyprus.
a tiny picture like on his stories, and I pick up on these things. And when someone posts something with like eyeballs, like the side eye, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take a look at that. So
I actually think that that's where I found out about it too, was David. So we can both thank David for this.
Okay.
Thank you, David.
Let's have a book club, David. Just kidding. I don't even know if he listens to this. We'll send it to him. I'll send it to him. That's right. Yeah. Oh, this was so much fun.
Thank you.
I didn't know that I was going to like gain this fun new friend. And now we need to hang out and photograph. So we have to figure that out.
We do. Yeah. Oh, it's been so fun. I love that you're curating females.
Right.
And giving voice to this. This is it's good work. It's good needed work. And I think the girls have a lot to say.
I totally agree. Yes. Which is why I'm doing this. Oh,
visually and vocally.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And also experience that are different than like, just like, oh, this is how I photograph. This is about my life. Like we want to hear more, more.
Yeah.
I like hearing more. So, I'll end on this. I don't know. Are you a member of NANPA?
I'm not actually.
But anyway, you don't have to be a member.
Yes, I will be as of next month.
You don't have to be a member, but the NANPA Summit is coming up in May in Tucson. And it's like 3 days, I think, whatever. But I am doing a breakout session with it's a women in landscape. It's a women in photography panel discussion. And so if anyone's going to NANPA, which I invite you to come and see me, and Sarah Marino will be there. Anyway, it's going to be so fun. So it's going to be a really awesome discussion. So,
yeah, you're not going to miss that.
No, you don't want to miss that. So come join me at the NANPA Summit in 2025. I'll put a link in the notes so you guys can check it out if you're interested. Would be fun to meet a bunch of people in person, like IRL,
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. So anybody who's interested in Tiffany's Charleston workshop, go take a look at that. I'll put the links. And then any other place that you want to go with her, go check that out.
I'd be so honored.
It would be fun.
Thanks.
All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. And Tiffany, thanks for coming on and chatting with me.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, appreciate it. It was so fun. Thank you.
It was fun. All right, y'all. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Come with me on my next adventure. Be a wild woman and join me on one of my small group photography escapes in places like the cypress swamps of East Texas or White Sands, New Mexico. Go to wildwomanphotography.com for all the details. While you're there, you can check out featured wild women, episode transcripts, and more. Oh, and I'd love for you to support this podcast and all these incredible wild women in photography by leaving a review or sharing with a friend. Thank you so much for listening.